back to real estate, how has the real estate business kind of afforded you or allowed you to kind of live that lifestyle? Because it's kind of nice to have these flexibilities in this business.
Oh my God, you guys, we have the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the single mom thing, obviously I provide for my kids. I'm a single mom, yes, but I do have to say I have got the best of the worst case scenario on both sides. There's 2 baby daddies. They're both great dads. If I ever needed anything, they would come alongside and we would all be there for our kids. So
But that's because of how you navigated through those relationships and turned them into the thing that they are today. So you get to get accolades for that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that was the end game, but you know, divorce isn't easy on kids, and I'm just thankful that we are all in a spot to where we're all healed and we're ready for the next chapter, and we're together for the sake of our kids. You know, we can work together and coordinate, and if he can't pick them up, I pick them up. So I really do have the best of the worst case scenario.
And she heard the ready for the next chapter. So we're talking about dating. So we're looking for a nice man.
We're going to have Billy like put up the bumble.com /
Well, this is the first time in my adult life that I've been single.
Yeah.
I have learned so much. I didn't date for the first year after I divorced or left my husband because I felt it was important to deal with whatever thing I got to deal with and go through whatever I got to go through. So when I'm on the other side of it, which we always like to say, it's behind me, you know? And so when I did start dating, so many different types of people. It's so interesting how many different types of men there are out there.
Give us a good dating story.
She meets all the different kinds of people.
Give us like a weird, like, what the hell was that kind of story? Do you have any of those?
You know, I've been pretty fortunate. Well, the very, very first one, this isn't the one. The very first one I went on, so like I got on Bumble, right? And I lost 3 days of my life because I'm like, oh, this is fun. And so then finally I'm like, I don't have time for this. So I messaged them all. I'm like, either we're going to meet or I'm done. So I had like 5 dates in 3 days. Bam, bam, bam. You know in 5 minutes whether or not you ever want to see anybody again.
Yeah.
So the thing with me is don't try to plan a second date on a first date. That'll stress me out.
Yeah.
But the first guy, the first one I went with, he's like, I'm really nervous. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I've been married for 14 years. This is my first date. I'm like, okay. And he goes, should I pick you up at your house? And I said, well, don't ever ask a girl to pick her up at her house because that's creepy. But yeah, you can pick me up. And he's like, I'm really nervous. I'm like, should I have a beer for you when you get there? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I open the door, hand him a beer, shut the door, let him drink his beer.
Did you really?
I really did. Just an icebreaker. So I open the door and he comes in and
burps in your face.
He sits down at the table and he looks at me and he goes, I've got to tell you something.
Oh, jeez.
And I go, okay. Well, I'm going through a divorce. So I'm still married and I live with my wife. Ooh. So I looked at him, gave him a high five, said, we're going to go have a beer and I'm going to tell you all the shit you're about to go through. And we'll be friends. So we went, we had a couple beers, told him all the stuff he's about to go through. Really recommended he not date until it was over because that might cause additional problems that he didn't need to deal with. So that was the first one.
It's a little counseling role. That's cool.
Yeah, so that was fun. You know what? I found people's definition of single is not the same.
It's not. It's not.
So now I have this thing. Okay, are you single? Like really single? Like not separated, not going through divorce, not a pending divorce, not a contract marriage, no girlfriend on the other side of the country, like literally single. Like there's a thing.
One time she texted me, she goes, okay, is this enough questions to ask in order to accomplish that they're truly single? And she sends me the list and I'm like, yep, that's enough.
You should just have them fill out like a disclosure statement.
So I'm going to bring a TDS to my next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's your offer.
I think Kim and
I... contingent.
Kim and I were talking about creating a dating SPQ.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it's fun. What's your favorite football team?
Packers.
Oh, what do you do when football season is happening? Watch
Love
the
life. I go through withdrawals right now. Thank God my kids still play.
So, gentlemen, if you're paying attention, she will hand you a beer at the door, and she loves football.
And she's
Just
really
saying.
pretty in high heels.
And you can't be married.
Yeah, you cannot be
There's that.
married. Or in the process of the dissolution. It has to be all the way over. Oh, that's
So is
fun.
it hard to date? Because I haven't, I married my wife in 2005, so like I haven't. That was before the whole dating apps and all that kind of stuff, and I just hear kind of like nightmare stories about it. Is it just difficult, or is it just everybody's so muddled up in their?
No, it's not difficult. I mean, it just is what it is. Now I just kind of laugh at it.
Mm-hmm.
The past two, oh wow, they've been a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think I could be married right now if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. I mean, I like my life. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell people, here's another thing. I've got literally 10 days a month, 10 evenings a month, and I might not want to see you all 10.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's just hang out once or twice a week. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's it. But these last two, they were a lot. Like,
Ready to throw a ring on it really quick.
oh, 100%. Yeah. I was
Mhm.
just like, and then they didn't understand why. I'm like, maybe I should know your birthday before you propose.
Oh, jeez. Wow. They must have heard about the football and the beer, and so they were just ready to go. They're like, that checks my 2 boxes.
Okay, but the one thing that she does do is she goes in fast and hard.
Yeah.
If it's going to work, I want to know. If not, I'm moving on.
Yeah, she just goes in and it's like she press hard, lots of copies. And so she knows the answers. I really love living vicariously through her. If I was young and single, I'd probably be acting the same way.
So I give my kids my phone. They go on Bumble. I'm like, here, find your next step dad.
Jeez.
The littles think it's so funny. And so they do. They'll go on and they'll be like, what do you think of this one, Mom? And so, I've shown them the criteria. Like, if they're certain things, like if they want kids someday, then no, you're going to swipe left on them. If you're agnostic, you're going to swipe left on them.
So these are like bullet points underneath people's
Yeah,
photos
yeah,
and stuff
see?
like that?
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Yeah, it's really fun. I love doing this with her.
Really? It's like a game?
Oh, so there's Jay,
Okay.
and then these are his little bullet points.
Interesting. And then
Yeah.
so people just fill out like a questionnaire or something like that, and
Yeah.
then it populates
So
it?
then
And so if you like them, then you go left or right? Or is that
if I like
Tinder?
him, I go right. Here, I'll show you what happens when I match with somebody. It booms.
Huh.
And then if it booms, then if I want to, I can talk to him.
Interesting.
Okay, one of the
It's totally pure entertainment. Like, the girls and I have such a good time laughing over it.
but when she was first starting, I think we're like, okay, we're stepping out into this new box. And one of the funnest things that I come in, I go, how's it going? She's like, I'm talking to like 3 or 4 different people, and I can't remember what I said to one and what I said to the other. So I have to really decide
So
who I'm going to talk to.
I now have a personal Bumble rule. I will only text one at a time.
It's too confusing, for that?
Well, and I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, yeah, I give them a day to text. If they haven't asked me out by the end of the day, I'm moving on. Like, I got a kid, I got a job, like, I got things to do.
Yeah.
Come on,
Get with it. Let's go.
get this shit done.
That's funny.
So